What's up guys, it's Corsha Lishell and welcome back to the cookie jar.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
If you are new to the cookie jar, welcome to the cookie jar. Watch the video at least to the halfway point, and if you decide you like it here, make sure to subscribe. If you are our OG cookie, you already know what the deal is. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and start the conversation. I'm not gonna prolong the intro. We are gonna jump straight into it. What I'm about to do is pretty much, I don't have any makeup on, but I do have eyelashes on, and I might have some oil on my face. So I'm just gonna go through one of my makeup wipes, and I'm going to wipe off my face first. For those of you guys who are just watching by auditory and you could not read the title, this is my eyebrow tutorial, step by step, from beginning to end, walk through. And then I will throw in at the end, showing you guys how I apply my lashes. So this is very beginner friendly. This is not gonna be like my bold going out all the way out brow. So I'll be using these lashes at the beginning, which is some very simple baby girl lashes. And I'm gonna show you guys what products I will be using for my eyebrows. But before I do that, let me go ahead and wipe my face off. What I'm gonna be using to wipe my face off is simply my makeup remover wipes by Neutrogena. And I'm just gonna wipe my eyes off first and remove the lashes that I had previously on. And get all the glue or whatever is on my eyelid off. Now I used to use hair glue on my eyelid, on my eyelashes, and occasionally still I will use it, but the lash glue that I've been using lately is actually one of my new faves. It doesn't leave anything on your face, and it just holds it. What I do recommend is if you know how to groom your own eyebrows, maybe groom them ahead of time. I'll show you guys how I simply groom my eyebrows. I am not a brow tech by any means, but I do know how I like my brows to look. I personally like to follow my natural brow and then just thin out the edges. If you don't want to do this step, you can skip this step and just go to a brow tech, and let them clean up your brows for you. The easiest way to clean up your brows is with tweezers, of course. But if you don't want to use tweezers, you can use an eyebrow razor like this, or you can use wax. I like to use a combination of the eyebrow razor and my tweezers. And all I do is wherever I see growth or extra hairs that I don't want, I brush my hair up like this. I pretty much go in and clean it up. So I'm gonna go in with some concealer, and I'm gonna take that concealer with a flat brush or whatever brush that you guys have. You don't have to have all the perfect brushes, but I'll tell you what I recommend. I do recommend a flat brush like this, which I got this from Morphe, or a brush like this. So what I'll do is I'll put some concealer on the back of my hand just to make sure I have my shape right before I start cutting. And I start at the back of my brow and go like that. And that's going to help me know what I need to cut and what I need to clean. Okay, so this is again a very beginner friendly 1-2 step video. This is not for those pros, okay? If you are a pro, then you may learn something new from this video, but if not, this video really is not for you. So you guys see how I have my brow pretty much where I want it and where I want it lined. And now I go through and I use my eyebrow razor and just clean up on the concealer. So where the concealer is where I will be cutting. So at the top, I'm gonna cut everything off that touches the concealer until I get the shape that I want, and do the same on the bottom. Make sure that you are using a sharp eyebrow razor. Mine is a little dull. So now that I got that brow done, I'm gonna go in with my wet wipe that I had earlier, and I'm just gonna wipe away that concealer. So now we have a shape on our brow. You're gonna repeat the same process over here. My brows prior to this video were previously groomed, so I don't have to do much, but that's what you do. You just repeat the steps on both sides of your brow. and keep it moving. Now that you have your brows all clean, you want to make sure that you don't have any product on your brows. Make sure they're dry. Do not put primer on your brows simply at the beginning of your makeup routine. Don't put anything wet on your brows. If you do, make sure it's dry because you want that product to stick to your brows. If your brows are wet, the product will not stick to your brows. All right, so the next step is you're going to need a brush like this, one that has an angled side and one that has a spoolie. And the spoolie will come in handy for blending later, and this angled brush will help you to move the product around, okay? And you can get one of these brushes from CVS, from e.l.f. You can get it from any beauty supply store or any store that sells beauty products. This one is by Morphe, and I did get it from Ulta in the All I Want Eye Kit. So I'm only going to do one eyebrow with you guys on camera because it's the same step and the same process to the other eyebrow, and this video will get entirely too long. So you can either use a brow pencil. I personally am out of the brow pencil, and if you're too heavy-handed, the brow pencil can kind of give you harsh lines. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Dip Brow. This pomade I got from Ulta Beauty. It is a little on the expensive side, but you guys can go to like CVS, again, any of your beauty supply stores, and get any type of brow gel, brow pomade, or something like that. Get something that best matches your eyebrow color. So you guys see that my natural hair color is a sandy red brown color, but my natural eyebrow color is like this, what would you call this? This toasty brown color, I guess you could say that. Smoky brown color, I guess you could say that. So the color that I'm using is the medium brown because it gives me a little bit of the in-between color. If you want to change the color of your eyebrows, you do the same steps, the same process, just with color. So you're going to take a little bit of your dip brow. Not too much, not too little. Put it on both sides and make sure you're focusing on that point. And that's what your brush should look like. I like to start by lining my bottom brow first so I can get the shape of what I want, and then I'll go in and line my top brow. So let's start. And as you see, the key is to go back over where you started and just drag it out. You don't need any more product. You have plenty of product on that brush, I can assure you. If you, for some reason, did not put enough product on there, you can go back in and add product, but you should have more than enough product. Okay, so you see how you have that line on your eyebrow, on the bottom of your eyebrow? So what I like to do is extend that line, right? A little bit past where my brow starts in the front. And the reason being is because you're going to use light strokes later to give you that ombre effect. So now that you have your bottom line, you're going to take your brush, and with this flat part again, you can get more product if you need to, but what I like to do is I like to scrape the product that's already on there down and then just dip my point into it, my edge into it. So then you're going to start at the back of your brow now. So you see where my brow is kind of empty and missing some hairs? I'm going to start from that point. See, if you raise your eyebrow, you'll see where that point is. And you're going to take this point here and drag it until it meets this point there. See? So I'm going to keep dragging that product in that I have. Don't get any more product because you don't want the front of your brow to be too dark. And again, you're going to extend past your brow point. So now I'm going to take whatever product is left on my wand and I'm going to color in, so stay in the lines, color in the tail end of my eyebrow. And you're pretty much going to do that until you start to get towards the front of your brow, right? And when you start to get towards the front of your brow, you're going to turn your brush on an angle like this and then start going in like hairward the direction of your hair. Sorry, I can't get the words out. The direction of your hair, which is up and kind of curved. And you're going to keep doing that even until you get to the point that you went past your brow. See how I'm filling those lines in? And that's going to give you that natural eyebrow ombre effect. Okay, so now you have your brow. You're going to take your spoolie this part of your brow, and you're just gonna buff that out in the front. Do not be afraid to use that brush. You don't have to go too hard, but you don't have to be afraid to apply pressure. You need to apply some pressure, sis, to get what you want, okay? We're not settling in 2022 and the end of 2021. You hear me? You apply pressure. Now, you're going to take your wet wipe and wipe away any of that extra stuff. Any of the extra product that was left there, you're gonna do it. So you see the difference? So now what you're gonna do to make that eyebrow sharp is you're gonna take some concealer, or you can use your foundation that's closest to your eyebrow shade. And you're gonna put a little bit on the back of your hand. If you have to mix two shades, you can. The concealer that I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. I got this from CVS, the drugstore. I also like to mix it with the Juvia's Place just to give it some little pop in color. And again, I got this from Ulta. So I like to mix those two because I want it to be a little bit lighter at the bottom and then another shade at the top. But you do want your concealer to be lighter than your skin tone. So then you're gonna take that brush that I was showing you guys earlier, dip it into it. And you're gonna do the same thing that you were doing with the dip brow. You're just gonna trace that line. Keep going over. You guys will see. And let's just get to it. And you do not have to know how to draw to do this. If it helps, you can arch your eyebrow while you're doing it and then start to drag that product down to your eyelid. That's going to help with the blending process later. So this shade can actually be a little bit lighter than your skin tone. And then the one on top, you want it to be the same as your skin tone. So I extend it a little bit past my brow. And then drag that down. Make sure it's even and not blotchy. If you have to add more concealer, then feel free to do so. And this is actually going to act as an eyeshadow primer for later on if you need to do eyeshadow. So now you're going to take that concealer that's on the back of your hand, that's kind of like the one that's closest to your skin tone. And you're going to do literally the same thing that I showed you to do with the dip brow. You're just doing it with your concealer to clean up that line and make it sharp. So you're going to lay it against your brow. Take your time with this. Do not rush. Honestly, in real time, it can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes to do your eyebrows. So if it takes you a little bit longer with you being a beginner, that is perfectly fine. Because even with someone who's been doing my eyebrows since I was in high school, I still take a little bit longer to do my brow. So what you want to do is when you get to this end, you want to drag that that concealer down until you pretty much reach the point of the other concealer from the bottom. And then you're just going to keep going in a straight line. So if you guys have any questions, please comment them down below and I will answer them. I do not claim to be a professional in this. I'm just showing you guys what I do at mine, and I'm hoping that it will help you out. So blend that concealer up. So now you have that. What you're going to do is wipe the concealer from the front of the brow and from the front of the bottom of the brow, because you don't want that blocky look, right? And then I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush. You can use whatever brush you have. You can use a flat brush. You can use a little beauty blender, one of the tiny beauty blenders, one of these. Make sure it's damp. But I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to use, it's called the Deluxe Concealer Brush by Real Techniques. And I'm going to spray this with my lavender Mario Badescu water. You guys can use regular water. If you have a spray bottle, spray it with your spray bottle. You just want to make sure this thing is moist when you get to moving it around. Now here is where you can actually spray your eyelid. So I would recommend you guys invest in some rose water. If you don't have rose water, please invest in some rose water, because the rose water is your best friend. It hydrates you. It can be used as a primer, as a setting spray. It makes your brushes wet. It's just a very good all-around beauty product. So Mario Badescu rose water or any of the Mario Badescu sprays. So I'm just going to spray this on my eyebrow. Let's say this one's done too. and it's going to help get everything moving around again. And I'm just going to pat and blend this out. Do not drag your brushes. Please don't do that. Please do not do that. So you see the difference in the brows? There's one, there's two. If you feel you need to blend out that front more, by all means, blend that front out more, and it's going to look really good now that you have your concealer on. See how it's coming together? So now I'm going to take my my setting powder. You can get this one from Walmart. It's called Air Spun. I believe it's under $10, but you're going to take that same brush that you just blended your eyelid out with, and you're going to dip that into that powder, and you're going to set your brow with that. So you see how my eyebrow is still very natural. It's still giving the very natural feel. It's not too over the top. And it's also not just as simple as just the hairy brow. Like, you know, it gives you that gradient effect and it gives you that matte finish. Now on to your lash. You got your eyebrows done. You want to do something cute. You know, set your, you got your eyebrows done. You know, set your eyelid. At this step, you can go put your foundation on. That's all you got to do. Put your foundation on. I'll do another video if you guys want. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to do a how I apply my foundation for beginners video. If that's not something you're interested in, then that's perfectly fine. But, you know, once you got this done, you put your foundation on and then you move on to your lashes. So what you're going to need for your lashes is literally your lashes, your tweezers, and some lash glue. And then you're going to take one of your lashes, figure out which eye you're going to put it on. And since this is one of those lashes that kind of go from short to long, I'm going to put the short on the inside. So it's going to go on my right lash. So I picked up the perfect one. And I'm going to size it to my eye first. So I want to put it on there. Make sure it's not too wide for my eye. Make sure it's not going to poke me in the eye, you know, anything of that nature. I have wide set eyes. So 9 times out of 10, I don't normally have to cut my lashes down to size, but if it's too wide, always start with the side that has the shortest length of lashes. So if I were to cut this, I would cut this side first before this side, right? So my lash fits perfectly. I have it all fitted. Now I'm gonna take my Duo concealer, my Duo lash glue, and it comes with a little applicator like this, and I'm going to apply that. You don't need a lot, you only need a little bit. I'm going to apply that to the lash line. So what I like to do is I like to apply it on the inside of the lash line and on that very tip of the lash line. And the reason that I like doing that is because it provides me with the extra security that it's not going to come off. Okay, so now that I have my glue on there, let that dry for like 5 or 10 seconds. The easiest way that I use to apply my lashes is pulling my lid out so I can see exactly where I placed it and put my lashes out the way like this. And I'm gonna take the middle of that lash. You can use your tweezers if you want, but if you are a beginner, I do not recommend you using tweezers. I recommend you work with your hands, because if you poke yourself in the eye with those tweezers, guys, listen, that's not a hurt you wanna feel. So I'm gonna take my lash with the lash glue still on there, and I'm gonna pull my lid out like this. And I'm gonna take that middle and I'm gonna place it in the middle of my lid, like that. And then I'm gonna place the end on the end of my lid. And then I'm gonna place the front on the front of my lid. Don't be afraid to use your fingers to move stuff around. And voila. So I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna pinch this lash onto my skin where it has to go and put it where it needs to be. Now, to make it look more natural, I'm gonna take my skin and pretty much like fold it over that lash. And the reason that I do that is because you want it to look like it's growing out of your roots. If you have to apply more glue in an area that won't lay down, please do so. And there you have it. That is how you would apply your lashes. You have you a full brow and a full lash. So that is my tutorial of how to do your brows from beginning to end, step by step, if you are a beginner. And that is my tutorial on how to apply your lashes, your falsies, as a beginner. If you like this video or this video helped you in some type of way, please comment down below and share this video out to somebody. Get the conversation going. Let people know about your girl Corsha Lishell, because we are a growing channel. And I appreciate you guys who are supporting me so much this far. We are almost at 10K subscribers. I love you guys. Again, it is your girl Corsha Lishell checking in, and I'm checking out from the cookie jar.